Welcome again. I've been looking forward to today's program. We'll be visiting with James in a bit and learn all we ever wanted to know about a career in order selecting from an actual professional at it. I think you'll find it very interesting and we'll get the true scoop on the job, if you will. We discussed the position back in episode 12 titled Order Selection, where we briefly covered, well really very broadly at like a 20,000 foot view of the task, and I believe it was mentioned in episode 19. Warehouse training techniques as well, and we had Tony walked us through several different training techniques. I've received a few questions about the skills needed to be successful and if we could talk about production pay, and did I have an opinion on the difference in it versus hourly. As you know, I've got hundreds of opinions, so today we'll dig into it a little bit and take a look at it. In the distribution world, especially your larger national distribution centers, order selecting may provide us with a good pay rate, and as we've learned, those good pay rates come with hard work and, more importantly, some type of responsibility. Selecting orders is just one of those jobs. It's important we select the right item and the correct quantity for each order. We have a customer dependent on it or counting on us for their business. Order selecting, especially in a productivity setting, is typically not going to be our first position or job as we're breaking into warehousing. Most large facilities, well-paying facilities, are going to be interested in productivity, and productivity comes with that experience. Some things our prospective employers may be looking for. I typically see 2 years of selection experience, in a productivity setting being asked for. A stable employment history. Selector training is time-consuming and it's very expensive. A strong knowledge of warehouse operations. Really energy in a person, a moving personality and that spark or that enthusiasm. Good attendance history. That's one thing about distribution and productivity-based centers is attendance. Head count and productivity is really counted on in order to move those case quantities and get those trucks loaded. One of the great things about advancement within a company is that they know us. They've been working with us. We've shown them that we're going to show up on time for every shift, every day that we can. And we know all the product, and we know all the warehouse procedures. It's always important to let our managers know that we want more, that we want to advance within the company. It's so important to master each job or task that we're given. Use those key words that we've learned about our jobs. Participate in our startup and safety meetings, and we'll get that shot at order selecting. A few things that make a great order selector are in my, kind of my experiences. Attention to detail. We have to select the right product in the correct quantity. The customer has to receive what they've ordered. Stacking. Any selector will tell you that stacking the product properly on the pallet, building the load as we're selecting it, is the most important component to productivity. We learn to stack well so we don't have to keep repositioning the product or stopping to pick it up off the floor when we've turned corners and stuff. If we build the pallet right, it will be stable and stay together as we travel throughout our selection path, and the delivery driver will be able to find the product for his delivery. When we do our job properly, we'll be productive. Eliminate damages, the driver will easily find the order, and the customer is going to be pleased with our service. Safety, it's an integral part of selection. We'll probably be using some sort of powered industrial equipment, maybe an electric rider jack, a single, double, or triple pallet jack, maybe even a forklift of some type during the whole shift. We'll be traveling several miles, almost constantly moving. Our bodies and equipment are going to be in constant use. All the while working around others. It's a tough job and it can be dangerous sometimes. Oh, and of course we'll have to have gone through our 29 CFR 1910.178 training and have been observed or on-sited to our particular docks. But there may be other machines and equipment in the facility as well. Remember not to ever get on any piece of equipment until we've been trained to do so. It's really just the law and it's dangerous, right? We may very well be earning some type of productivity pay. We're making money by moving and staying busy. We'll need to learn to think ahead, plan out our movements, kind of our selection path, and definitely our stacking. I always tried to stay a couple of minutes ahead of myself, visualize as I was going down through the aisle what my next pick was going to be. The more efficient we are, the more cases we're going to pull in an hour. It's just really as simple as that. There's a few of my thoughts on the position of order selection. It's a great position with great pay and honestly a good career stepping stone. I think once we break into warehousing, within the distribution world, that the order selection position should be our target or one of our goals. We've worked hard to reach it, right? We want that pay and everything that we can learn about our operations that it'll bring us. We have James with us here today to share his insights with us a bit. James is a professional order selector, works in a productivity setting with a national food service distributor. James, thanks for taking a few minutes with us here at WAOC today. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Doing very well. Well, let's learn a little bit about you. What was your first warehouse position, or how did you get into warehousing? Was it like one of your first jobs?
Yes, sir, it is. And I got into warehousing back in 2000, and my first warehouse position was order selecting. And I got in through a temp service, and they liked my determination and motivation. And they saw that, I was being persistent on learning on how to order select, and therefore I was hired on.
It really is a bit more of a demanding job than a lot of people think, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. You have to be there to get the cases out. You have to be there to make sure the loads get on the trucks. And, just like you were saying, attendance is a major factor in the business.
It really is. And what we've been learning here at WAOC is attendance is just part of warehousing 101. So how long have you been order selecting?
I've been order selecting a little bit over 10 years now.
I'd call that quite the professional then. You've thrown or chunked quite a few cases, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Well, in over 10 years, you've probably been paid hourly and production pay both. What's your thoughts between the two? Which one do you really prefer?
Me, myself, I prefer productivity, because hourly, when you go to punch the clock, you know what you're getting paid. And, me personally, I like to be motivated. I like to motivate myself to go and make more money. So on productivity, it gives you that opportune time to go in there because the money is readily available to you. It's there for you to make. And, you have to make it up in your mind and say, I'm going to go in today and I'm going to go for top pay or the base pay, and it gets me to go into where I want to make the top pay or try to see the limits of making top pay.
It's really what we're hearing from people that's working in the production pay world, whether it's activity-based or some formula for production pay. It's kind of nice to, I don't know what the word is, be in control of your pay or actually have a say to what you're making, isn't it?
Yes, sir. The incentive plan hit the floor. That was a great thing to do.
So you travel several miles throughout the warehouse daily. Give us some tips on safety and how you approach it. It's kind of like being in our car on the freeway, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's very similar because you have to stay alert. You have to use your horns through breezeways and through retracting doors, and you have to use body mechanics when you're lifting your cases. And, it's just about being safety, because safety is first everywhere. And by you being safe and productive and using the right body mechanics, you can be more productive into your night.
Very well put. Safety is just an integral part of everything we're learning about warehousing. Here at WAOC, we're kind of all about turning our operations jobs into operations careers. Could you share some experience or pointers how you feel about warehousing as a career, I guess?
Through my experience, warehousing is a great place to start a career because just like I said, the pay scale is good. The pay is there for you to get. They have many opportunities to move up within the company, and there's other things inside the warehouse that you can also learn. Because, in my experience, I have seen selectors as myself are now today supervisors and managers and, things of that sort. So warehousing doesn't just limit to just order selecting. You can go from order selecting to driving to supervising and management to just learn about the whole logistics, out here that's here for us.
Those are great points, and you're absolutely correct. The more people we talk to, the more we realize that, the advancement possibilities within the warehouse and operations are really limitless. If we enjoy sanitation, that can be our career. If we enjoy order selecting, that can be our career. And all these positions can lead us into other things that can become our career. Those are great points, James. Well, James, we really enjoyed your visit, and thanks for sharing so much with us here today. It's so interesting to visit with those actually performing the task and hearing their individual experiences. Now, as we get farther into the programs down the road, you'll come back and visit with us again sometime, right?
Yes, sir, I will.
And we appreciate each of you, our listeners, for joining us each week, and we'd ask for your participation as well. It's great to see all your comments and questions each week. Remember to check out our Twitter and Facebook pages for additional topics and share, and we share a lot on Twitter each week. Until next week's show, please stay focused, be prepared for each shift, and practice all your safety skills.